Welcome to the Wealth and Love Blueprint, where love meets logic and money reveals the truth.
Let's talk about a question that drives so many guys crazy. Why is it that the men with the best intentions, the so-called nice guys, always seem to finish last? You try to do everything right, but you end up broke, single, and just frustrated. Well, it's not bad luck. It's actually a psychological flaw. And today, we're going to drag it out into the light. The answer, believe it or not, comes from a 500-year-old lesson from one of history's most controversial thinkers, Machiavelli. Now, what he's saying here isn't a guide on how to be evil. Not at all. It's a diagnosis of why the bad guys so often win. They're willing to be clever and cunning, and they aren't held back by all the rigid rules that keep good men weak. It's a hard truth about what's effective that most nice guys are taught to completely ignore. And this visualizes the whole problem perfectly. You got two paths. The nice guy lives on the left side, totally convinced that his good intentions are like currency, that they'll get him what he wants. But reality? Well, reality lives on the right. It doesn't reward intentions. It rewards effective action. The world just doesn't care how pure your heart is. It only cares about what you actually do. So this forces us to ask a really tough question. Could the one thing you're most proud of, your niceness, actually be the very thing that's sabotaging your entire life? We're about to break down exactly why this isn't just a possibility, it's a probability. And more importantly, we're going to lay out the strategy to fix it. To break free, we first have to see the prison we're in. I call it the people pleaser's prison. It's a cage you build yourself, with bars made out of your own good intentions. And that path you think is leading you to success, it's actually a one-way street straight to failure. At the very center of this prison is one huge, fundamental mistake in your thinking. It's the belief that if you're just nice enough, compliant enough, caring enough, that the world will just hand you a reward. It's a total lie. The world doesn't reward being a yes man, it rewards value. And believe me, those two things are often the complete opposite. And this broken belief system, it creates all these destructive habits. I mean, does any of this sound familiar to you? You wake up, and the first thing you think about is who you need to make happy today. At work, your coworker straight up steals your idea, and you just sit there and say nothing? You find yourself agreeing to plans you absolutely hate just because you don't want to cause a little bit of friction. That's not being kind. That's self-sabotage, and it's all fueled by a deep-seated fear of conflict. And let's put a real number on this. Think about that $150 dinner you paid for, when you knew deep down she was never, ever going to call you back. You paid for it because the idea of just suggesting you split the bill was more terrifying than literally throwing that money away. That $150 wasn't a nice gesture. It was a tax. It was the price you paid for not being able to set a simple boundary. So how in the world do we get out of this prison? Well, it takes a complete mental upgrade. We're talking about the Machiavellian shift. It's when you make a conscious choice to care more about being effective than about how pure your intentions are. And this totally flips the script on one of the most misunderstood books in history, The Prince. It's not a handbook on how to become a dictator. Think of it more as a playbook for good people who are just sick and tired of losing. It's a guide on how to get a little bit of that tactical cunning you need to actually achieve your goals in a world that doesn't always play fair. And this is the core idea right here, effectiveness over purity. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. The world judges you by your results. Your boss, your investors, the people you want to date. They all respond to what you achieve, not what you were planning to do. A good heart is invisible. Your actions, they're on full display. Now, let's be crystal clear about this. The goal here is not to become a jerk. It's about strategically adopting the tools that effective people use. Yeah, the bad boys and tyrants you might look down on, they might have issues, but they are masters of setting boundaries, of using leverage, and of being assertive. It's time to learn how to use those same tools, but for your own better purposes. Okay, so this brings us to the actual game plan. It's time to install a new operating system in your brain, a new code of conduct. We're going to break it down into 4 simple but absolutely life-changing rules for reclaiming your power. So here it is, your new code. Number 1, set boundaries. 2, learn to say no. 3, stand your ground. And 4, starve the ego. These 4 pillars, they are your escape route from that prison. They sound simple, but really mastering them means breaking years of bad habits. So let's start with the foundation. Rule number 1, set Boundaries. This is completely non-negotiable. A boundary is that line you draw in the sand that tells the world, this is me, that's you. It's you declaring that your time, your energy, and your money are valuable. Please remember this. Being nice should never, ever mean being a doormat. Rule number 2. This is the superpower of every effective person out there. Learning to say no. You have to realize that every time you say no to a request that drains you or to a person who's just using you, you're actually saying a huge yes to your own goals. It is the fastest way to shut down manipulation, and ironically, the quickest way to earn real respect. All right, rule number 3, stand your ground. People pleasers are terrified of this because they think disagreement equals a fight. That is a massive mistake. Having your own opinion and being able to explain it calmly, that doesn't start fights, it signals strength. It shows people you have a spine, and that is way more attractive than just agreeing with everyone. And finally, rule number 4, starve the ego. What does that mean? It means stop giving away your time and attention and money just to get a little bit of validation from people who offer you nothing back. Your attention, your energy, they're not infinite. Treat them like assets. Stop handing them over for free to emotional and financial vampires who haven't earned a single bit of it. When you boil it all down, it all comes back to this one principle. In every single part of your life, from the office to your dating life, respect is not given to the nicest, most agreeable guy in the room. No, it is earned by the man who shows everyone, through his actions and his boundaries, that he values himself first. So the choice is yours, and make no mistake, it is a choice you make every single day. Are you going to keep going down that people-pleaser path, trying to get everyone to like you, only to end up broke, alone, and without any respect? Or are you going to make that Machiavellian shift and start acting like a man who commands respect? The choice is yours.
By aligning your heart and your finances, you unlock true growth. Subscribe to Wealth and Love Blueprint.